for a blizzard is supposed to hit New York starting tonight, going all the way through tomorrow, maybe even into Wednesday. A blizzard, big blizzard, big blizzard. Anyway, listen, I wanted to make this early video here Monday. A couple of things, a couple of announcements. Number one, I'm going to be working on the new issue of MMT Trader all day today. I was working on it over the weekend. A lot of stuff, a lot of new information. So today I won't be able to put out any more videos until after I'm done later on this afternoon or early evening, because I am working to finish the new issue of MMT Trader. But I can tell you this, in the research that I have done thus far, just taking a look, for example, at oil, at the oil market, we know there is a massive speculative net long position. I always say net because I take the longs minus the shorts. What is the net position? And that came down a little bit in the sell-off last week, but really nothing at all. There still exists a massive net long speculative position in oil. So there's still all in there. And despite the fact that we've seen inventories skyrocket to record levels, I've been talking about this, not only crude inventories, distillates, gasoline. By the way, you'll see in the report there have been some changes in those inventory levels, and I'm going to be talking about that. And let me just throw this out there right now. If you want to get the report today, go sign up for the 30-day free trial. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Right there on the home page, you'll see it says get the 30-day free trial. Just click on that. In the meantime, you could take a look at all the back issues, okay? But there has been some developments in the inventory situation in some of the demand data that I've been talking about. So very important what's going on here right now with respect to oil and what that portends for the price outlook. All right, number one. Number two, S&P futures. What's going on with the stock market? We now see the Wall Street dealers. These are the big firms like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, the dealers. They are now net short the S&P futures, 400,000 contracts. Okay, they have basically been shorting this thing since mid-December nonstop, and this is their largest net short position right now. We still have a massive net long position on the part of asset managers. That came down a little bit last week, but there's still net long, I think about 635,000 contracts. Now, also of importance here, we are now seeing the smallest net short position among speculators. As a matter of fact, the small speculators, non-reporting, they're long now, all right? Not by a lot, but they're long. But the leveraged money, that would include the futures funds, the hedge funds, they've been short for over a year, but now this is their smallest net short position in like 2 years. Okay, so last week they covered a huge portion of their net short position. So very interesting what's going on over there. That's all I'm going to say for the markets right now. There's some gold information on gold positions. I put all this stuff in the report. So if you want the report, again, go to pitbulleconomics.com and sign up for the free trial. Everybody else is going to get the report later. Now, a couple of things. I was watching Fox News Sunday yesterday with Chris Wallace. They had Gary+Cohn, former Goldman Sachs chief financial officer. He's now senior White House advisor to Donald Trump. You know, guys, every time I listen to these people talk, you really see they are clueless about the monetary system. It really shines a light on what it takes to rise to the highest levels of Wall Street. It's not necessarily that you know anything. I mean, but anyway, let me just explain what he said in talking to Chris Wallace, because Chris Wallace said, well, you know, Trump's going to increase historic increase in spending on the military. Always the military. There's always money for the military, right? $54 billion in his budget that's going to be proposed this week. He's going to have massive offsetting cuts everywhere else. Offsetting cuts in the Environmental Protection Agency, in the State Department, in the federal workforce, and you name it. And Gary+Cohn, Chief Financial Officer of Goldman Sachs, said, hey, Chris, you got to understand something. It's like a household. You know, if a household, if a family wants to increase its spending on something, it's got to cut back in other areas. Gary+Cohn, I'm sorry. You cannot equate the federal government of the United States, which is a sovereign currency issuing entity, with a household. That's you know, I mean, that's like the most simplistic, basic thing to understand, or the most basic distinction that there is that a currency issuing entity that has the power to tax, that has the power to make your life miserable if you don't, use their currency, you cannot equate that to a household. So here's, again, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is like the old boys network. You go to the right schools, you go to Harvard, you get hired by these firms. A lot of these firms, look, on Wall Street, grew up, so to speak, became big in the activities that involve fraud. I mean, Goldman Sachs admitted to fraud in the great financial crisis. I'll give you another one. I remember Hank Paulson, former Treasury Secretary, who was the Treasury Secretary at the time of the great financial crash, he wrote in his book, I remember reading this, that when things were falling apart, and this guy was the CEO of Goldman Sachs. If there was ever a master of the universe that these guys, the moniker that they like to use for themselves, if there was ever a master of the universe, this guy was it, right? The CEO of Goldman Sachs, the most powerful Wall Street firm that exists. In the midst of the great financial crash, he went home, he and his wife, they knelt down in their bedroom on their bed, holding hands, and he prayed. He prayed. I could have ended that thing in 5 minutes, okay? There is no amount of government spending that can't preclude or forestall or turn around a deep economic crisis, okay? Very easy thing to do. Very easy thing to do. But he prayed. There was a master of the universe, the king of the masters of the universe, who went home, and the only thing he knew how to do was pray. All right? These are the guys that run the show, people. These are the guys that run the show. So astonishing, just ridiculous comments from Gary+Cohn. Hey, it's like a family there, Chris Wallet. No, it's not like a family. It's not like a family, Gary. I mean, understand the basic distinction. Anyway, sign up for the report, pitbulleconomics.com. I'll see everybody later. Have a great day. We're waiting for the big snowstorm. The big snowstorm is coming here to New York City. It might affect the markets tomorrow. Just letting you know. Bye-bye.